Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. In a league where egos often eclipse the team and dollar signs dictate loyalty, Tyreek Hill is charting a different path. The Miami Dolphins wide receiver, known for his blistering speed and game-breaking ability, recently made waves with comments that defy the typical star athlete script. With his current contract set to expire after the 2026 NFL season, Hill is due for another major payday, if not from Miami, then certainly from another receiver-needy franchise. But when asked about what it would take to keep him in South Beach, Hill didn't talk about money. He didn't rattle off stats or leverage his status. Instead, he spoke about gratitude, legacy, and most importantly, loyalty. "I don't even gotta be the highest paid receiver," Hill said. And in an era where the next man up demands to reset the market, that sentiment is rare. It's the kind of thing that makes fans listen and makes front offices take note. Let's put this into perspective. Hill is already among the NFL's elite earners at his position. His cap hit for the 2025 season is set at approximately $27.7 million, which ranks him just behind the Tennessee Titans' Calvin Ridley. That's not exactly small change. And for a 31-year-old wideout who's arguably on the back end of his prime, those are some serious numbers. But Tyreek Hill is different. His mindset is rooted in something more meaningful than just stats or figures. He's bought into the Dolphins system. He believes in head coach Mike McDaniel, and he's embraced the Miami community in a way that makes his desire to stay feel genuine, not just a PR move. The franchise, the community, they've done a great job of standing beside who I am as a man and as a player, Hill said. It's not often you hear a player of his caliber speak with that kind of authenticity. Hill's relationship with McDaniel has been a key factor in this story. Since arriving in Miami, he's flourished under McDaniel's innovative offense, which has emphasized speed, versatility, and vertical threats, all things Hill brings in abundance. His 2023 campaign was nothing short of spectacular: 1,799 receiving yards, the most in the NFL and a Dolphins franchise record. That season wasn't just a personal best, it was a testament to what happens when scheme and talent collide perfectly. For Hill, that synergy is invaluable. He knows what it's like to be misused or underutilized, and he understands that this system, this coach, gives him the best chance to not just pad his stats, but to chase something even bigger: wins, championships, legacy. It's clear that Hill doesn't want to leave that behind. And if the Dolphins can find a way to make the numbers work, they'd be wise not to let him walk either. However, the NFL is not a league built on sentiment alone. Front offices deal in cold, hard metrics: production, age, potential future value. And while Hill had a monster 2023, the 2024 season was a reality check. His numbers dipped significantly: just 959 receiving yards and an average of 56.4 yards per game. Whether that was due to injuries, defensive adjustments, or simply age catching up is up for debate. But one thing is clear: paying Hill top dollar again into his mid-30s is a gamble. It's the kind of decision that can hamstring a franchise's cap space and ripple through the roster. For all of Hill's talent, the Dolphins have to weigh what the next 3 to 5 years might look like, and with younger, cheaper receivers entering the league every year, the front office has to ask, is another blockbuster Hill deal worth it? Adding to the complexity is Miami's recent postseason track record or lack thereof. The Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since 2000. That's a staggering drought for a franchise with such a rich history. And while Hill isn't solely to blame, the pressure is mounting on the team's core to deliver. Another early playoff exit in 2025 could trigger sweeping changes from the coaching staff to key player contracts. That means even if Hill wants to stay, and even if he's willing to take a team-friendly deal, there's no guarantee the team will feel the same way about keeping him. NFL windows are small, and Miami's might be closing fast. If ownership and management decide that a reset is needed, players like Hill valuable, but aging are often the first to go. It's a harsh reality of the business side of football. Still, the fact that Hill is publicly expressing a willingness to sacrifice money for continuity speaks volumes. It's a mindset that resonates in locker rooms and among fan bases alike. It's also a message to his teammates. He's all in, he wants to win, and he's not going to let his ego get in the way. That kind of leadership is hard to quantify, but it's exactly what franchises look for when building a sustainable culture. If the Dolphins are serious about contending, Keeping veterans who prioritize the team over their paycheck is crucial. Tyreek's words may not guarantee a contract extension, but they build a case for why he's more than just a player. He's a pillar of the locker room. And in a city like Miami, where flash often overshadows substance, Hill is bringing both. It's also worth noting that Hill's reputation has evolved early in his career. He was a controversial figure, and there were questions about his character and maturity, but since coming to Miami, he's reinvented himself not just as a receiver, but as a man. His interviews are more composed, his focus seems sharper, and his connection to the community appears genuine. That's not just good for optics, it's good for business. The Dolphins know they have a marketable superstar in Hill, and that matters in today's NFL. Jerseys, ticket sales, media appearances, all of it ties into the larger value a player brings to a franchise. Hill has become a face of the team. And while stats are king in negotiations, being a fan favorite with a clean public image adds another layer of worth. As we look toward the future, the ball is in Miami's court. Do they reward Hill for his past performance and leadership? Or do they take a more conservative approach, preparing for the next wave of talent while letting a veteran walk? It's a decision that will shape not just the wide receiver room, but the identity of the franchise moving forward. If they choose to let Hill go, it sends a message that loyalty and performance only go so far. But if they find a way to make it work, a reasonable extension that respects both the cap and the player, it could mark a turning point. A symbol that the Dolphins are serious about building a culture of commitment, accountability, and long-term vision, and that could be just as valuable as any stat line. In the end, Tyreek Hill's story in Miami isn't just about dollars and contracts, it's about growth, culture, and legacy. It's about a player who found the right fit at the right time, and a team that helped him rediscover his best self. Whether the Dolphins reciprocate that belief with a new deal remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, Hill is already doing his part. He's producing, leading, and showing the kind of maturity that teams dream of in their stars. If the NFL is truly a business of relationships, then Hill just made a compelling case for why he should be a Dolphin for life, because sometimes the best deals aren't measured by millions, they're measured by meaning. So as training camp approaches and whispers of the future begin to swell, remember this: Tyreek Hill isn't begging for a raise. He's asking for a chance to keep building something special. And in a league where tomorrow is never promised, that kind of perspective is priceless. Whether the Dolphins see it that way will soon become clear, but for now, Hill's message stands as a powerful reminder that greatness isn't just about being the highest paid. It's about being the most committed, and in Miami, Hill has found a place worth staying in, even if it means putting legacy over luxury. Still with us? Then show some love, hit that like button, and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? It's the kind of headline that makes you stop mid-scroll. Keenan Allen signs with the Miami Dolphins for $16 million a year. Yeah, you heard that right. Keenan freaking Allen, one of the crispest route runners in the league, is taking his talents to South Beach, and let me tell you, this move isn't just a flashy grab by Miami, it's potentially the missing piece in a puzzle the Dolphins have been trying to solve since Tua Tagovailoa took the reins. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's not forget this is still swirling in the rumor mill. But multiple insiders have started whispering the same thing: the Dolphins have made their big move. And if the numbers are accurate, $16 million per year, this isn't just a roster filler. This is a calculated bet on a veteran who still has plenty of gas in the tank and the precision to be a quarterback's best friend. Now let's unpack what this really means for Tua. We all know the Dolphins' offense under Mike McDaniel is built on speed, timing, and above all, trust. Tyreek Hill stretches the field like no one else, and Jalen Waddle gives you fireworks in the slot. But when defenses start double-teaming Hill and stacking the middle to slow Waddle's YAC magic, Miami has often lacked that steady possession-type receiver who can bail Tua out on 3rd and 7. Enter Keenan Allen. This guy has made a career out of being that safety valve. Whether it's soft zone or tight man coverage, Allen has that uncanny ability to find the window and make himself available. And for a quarterback like Tua, who thrives on timing and accuracy more than arm strength, having Allen as a reliable target could be a game changer. Of course, some people are already raising eyebrows at the price tag. $16 million per year for a receiver in his 30s. That's not exactly chump change. But let's be honest here, this isn't a gamble on potential. This is a bet on proven production. Keenan Allen is still that dude. He's coming off a season where, despite battling through some injury setbacks, He reminded everyone why he's one of the smoothest technicians at the position. And with the way McDaniel designs his route trees leveraging motion, misdirection, and spacing, Allen's skill set plugs in beautifully. Think of him as the grown-up in the room. The guy who doesn't need a 4.340 to get open because he's already 2 steps ahead mentally. You can't put a price on that kind of football IQ, especially in a young offense still learning how to win in January. And then there's the locker room aspect. Keenan Allen brings more than just receptions, he brings leadership. We're talking about a guy who's been through it all with the Chargers, playoff heartbreaks, quarterback transitions, and coaching changes. He's seen the highs and lows, and he still produces. That kind of veteran presence can be invaluable for a team like Miami that's loaded with young stars, but still searching for that postseason breakthrough. People underestimate how much impact a player like Allen can have just by walking into the building. He's the kind of guy who raises the floor of your offense just by being there. When things get tight, say, Week 14, on the road, hostile crowd, having a calming presence who knows how to get open and move the chains is a luxury that most contenders wish they had. But let's also talk about the ripple effect this could have. Across the AFC, the Dolphins just sent a message with this move, intentional or not. They're not sitting back and watching teams like the Chiefs, Bengals, and Ravens dictate the narrative. They're coming for it. They're stacking the deck. And the combination of Hill, Waddle, and now Allen, that's a pick-your-poison offense. There's no easy coverage scheme for that trio. Double Hill, fine. Allen will carve you up underneath. Focus on Allen. Good luck keeping up with Waddle in open space. Defensive coordinators are going to have nightmares game planning for this squad. And if Tua can stay upright and make quick decisions as he showed he can in stretches last season, this offense could legitimately be a top 3 unit in the league. That's not hype, that's reality. There's also a not-so-subtle message being sent to Tua here. By signing Allen, the Dolphins are doubling down on their quarterback, not hedging their bets. They're saying, we believe in you, we're giving you another weapon, now go prove us right. That's a lot of pressure, sure, but also a lot of trust. And for a player like Tua, who's had to deal with nonstop skepticism about his durability, his arm strength, and his ceiling, this might be exactly the kind of support he needs to take that next leap. No more excuses. The tools are there. The coach is creative. The weapons are elite. If Tua can't make it work with this group, then maybe the doubters had a point. But if he can, and that's a big if, then we might be looking at a dark horse MVP candidate. Don't be surprised if this signing also affects Miami's draft and free agency plans. With Allen on board, the urgency to add another wideout drops dramatically. That means they can shift focus to the trenches, maybe invest in a left tackle insurance plan, or beef up the defensive front. It's a classic ripple effect. The more you solidify your skill positions, the more flexibility you have elsewhere. And remember, Miami isn't just building for the regular season anymore. They've been to the dance. Now they want to stay on the floor. Every move from here on out has to be with January and possibly February in mind. Allen gives them playoff reliability. He gives them a guy who knows how to get open when it matters most. That kind of playoff experience is gold. Of course, there's always a chance this deal hits some snags. Maybe the contract details aren't fully finalized. Maybe Allen still needs to pass a physical. Maybe there's a late push from another contender trying to swoop in. But from what we're hearing, this is all but a done deal. And if that's true, the Dolphins just made one of the most quietly impactful moves of the offseason. It might not grab as many headlines as a blockbuster trade or a QB signing, but it fills a real, tangible need in a way that smart front offices dream of. This isn't about fireworks. It's about functionality, and that's often the difference between a good team and a great one. So here we are, folks. Keenan Allen and Aqua in orange. Tua with a new go-to guy. Mike McDaniel with another chess piece. And the rest of the AFC with a brand new problem to solve. The ink may still be drying on the paperwork, but the message is already loud and clear. The Dolphins are not playing around. They're tired of moral victories and early exits. They want to win now. And with Allen in the fold, they might just have found the missing piece to turn their high-flying offense into something truly unstoppable. Buckle up, Dolphins fans, this season just got a whole lot more interesting. And look, I know what some of you are thinking. Isn't this just another big-name signing? That looks good on paper, maybe, but with Keenan Allen, the production is there, the tape is there, the resume is there. This isn't a nostalgia play. This is about fit. This is about timing. And above all, this is about maximizing the window. Because windows in the NFL don't stay open forever. You have to recognize when it's your time and go all in. And if the Dolphins have really pulled this off, if Keenan Allen is really heading to Miami, then they've officially gone all in. Whether it works or not, that's the fun part. We get to watch it unfold. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.